All right, welcome to Situations with Moon. And you know how you do when you get with Moon, we're in the situation room. And when you get in the situation room, we talk about things we want to talk about. We talk about things we need to talk about. I need y'all to go in that bio, hit the link. I need y'all to go to YouTube, subscribe, go to Podbean, go to iHeartRadio, go to Spotify, FM radio, Apple, go everywhere. Subscribe, like, share, tell somebody, call somebody. You know what I mean? It's a unity thing. It's that hood takeover, man. And today I got somebody with me. And I think that a big part of like what we got going on is mental health. And sometimes, you know, a lot of people can't find themselves, but we got a guy right here today been on a hell of a journey in life. You know what I'm saying? A serious journey, man. And I want y'all to get into him today. Tell the people who you are.
It's your boy Gleesh, man. Shit bag Sean and all that there. The one and only, the originator. Yeah. Playside finest and all that.
So listen, let's get into your upbringing. Where you come up at?
Grew up right here in my grandmother's house right here, down the southwest and shit. Right. I went to Amadon and I went to Jeff because my mother wanted me to go to Jeff. Cause at that time when I was coming up, Jeff was like the best middle school, junior high in the city and shit. So wherever I was at, wherever we moved at, she still kept me at that address so I could go to Amadon, go to Jeffrey. You know, that joint gonna pipeline you up to Wilson and shit. So I went to all them joints and shit like that, for sure.
So what was your household like growing up? And I asked that question because a lot of the youth go through, some people go through abusive household, drug addicted households. Some people came up in good households. You know what I mean? Some people had a single parent, struggling mother who tried her best. I was raised by my grandmother. I lived with my grandmother. I lived with my mother for a period of time too, but majority of my life I lived with my grandmother. You know what I'm saying? What was like your household like coming up?
And my father was in the army, but my mother and him weren't never married. So he go get stationed somewhere, go to war, whatever. And he'd be wherever, right? So sometimes, like a lot of time when I was young, I ain't never really know where he was at. Like he would just be, like he in Bosnia or Kosovo, or he could be somewhere close, you know what I'm saying? So, but it wasn't like he wasn't active, he just wasn't around, you know what I mean, type shit. So my mother, and my grandmother, like I said, I stayed here, but my mother would move around and shit. So then we finally found a place up in Northeast, like when I was like 8 or 9 and shit. That's where like I'm from, type shit, Northeast and shit, type shit. But it was, it was cool shit, Like I want everybody know I wasn't like fucked up or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? For like everybody perspective, they thought I had more than what I had and shit. But like my mother supported, you know what I'm saying, and she loved me. She was the manager of my band, the T.O.B. She was Team B, so she was always in my life and shit. You know what I'm saying? So from my mother's support, motherfuckers be like, oh yeah, you're rich and something. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. But it wasn't really like that. You know what I mean? But as far as like, yeah, we was cool. You know what I'm saying? Shit was cool.
Did you ever get into the streets?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I was like, it's crazy cause like when you from DC, you like everybody know what it is with us. You know when you go out the feds how it is. Like they know what it is with us. You know what I'm saying? So like all my life, wherever I would go, like even when I lived with my father out in Germany when I was like 8, that's when my mother moved out up northeast when I came back. So even going around the world, going wherever the fuck I went, I was still me. And it was like, that thoroughbred DC nigga, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you couldn't never take that shit out and type shit. So, yeah, I'm cool. Like this right here, Southwest, they consider this the safe side type shit. You know, like I ain't got, you know what I'm saying? So we ain't got, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Short little walk over.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's right there, you know what I'm saying? But, so it's like, that's how I was.
So when you jumped into the streets, how old were you?
Man, like, it's crazy because like I said, I always was DC thoroughbred. So even as a young nigga, I was bad as shit. I was always wild as shit. I was talking to my mother the other day, like I always was in trouble. I was always the class clown, always getting kicked out, always, but I was smart as shit. So it was like I was testing hiding shit around me because this shit was boring. So I was like, this shit was boring. So I was just acting out and doing shit and wilding and always in the shit. So it was always in me. But then I guess you could say when you like, wow, it's like you raised in this shit and then you start getting active in this shit. That's a difference. You know what I'm saying?
So
When I got active, it was probably like 14, 15.
so let's go back before you got active. Cause it's like a culture with us, like little boys coming up. Like we all across America. Like it's in every hood.
It's
Like
everywhere.
growing up as a little boy, throwing rocks at cars, snatching bikes, stealing bikes, knocking niggas out, knocking clunkers out and shit. Like niggas taking phones and like what little bad shit you was into?
Alright, so me and my crew, we was more active than the niggas around me. Even like when we had started the band, before we started the band, we was out there dog baby. Like excuse me, sir, we like to make a small donation to our recreate. So we was always hustling. We was always getting money. We was doing like
dog,
nine,
baby. You took
9,
me back.
12,
Yeah.
yeah. You know what I'm saying? So we was always getting some money. We weren't never sitting around doing shit. You know what I mean? So um, like I remember my friend, like nigga around my way, they still playing basketball, riding bikes and doing. I was like, man, I'm trying. This shit boring. Like I was trying to do some other shit. I was over with the old head. They was drinking, gambling all night. I was sneaking out of the house, trying to be outside all night and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So I was ahead of my time with a lot of shit that I was doing. So just depending on my age or what I compared to what everybody else my age, they weren't never on what I was doing type shit. I was always on something ahead of them type shit. So it just depended on where I was at.
You ever been to jail?
Yeah, but not on no real jail shit. I ain't there do no time and shit.
How many times you been arrested?
It was like I've been arrested like twice. I got locked up about Texas and I got locked up about Waldorf, leaving the motherfucking Thai seafood and shit. Some petty ass weed shit, some goofy ass shit.
So before you got to the point again, is before you got active. Up until the point before you got active, what was like your musical influences? What was you listening to at that age?
So the crazy thing, my mama was in like NA, right? So every Thursday she'd go to her meetings and then she'd drop me off at my grandmother's house and up in that window, that's my like her bedroom, so I'd be asleep. And every night at 9:30, like I think it was 93.9 or 95.5 would always play they little 30-minute section of GoGo. But they ain't play GoGo all day long and shit. So I always had my bedtime be by about 10, before 10. So I'm always in the bed at 9:30, playing the little radio and shit. And my favorite song was Northeast Groove, was the motherfucker, I got to get away. I got to fly away. So like that little bounce, that joint been cranking at me. Like I fuck with the pockets and shit, but I been was fucking around with that. I was like, oh, what's that? Every Thursday I'm trying to hear that joint. And they always closed it out with that joint, bro. That was one of the last songs they always closed that shit out with that shit. So I I listening to rap because that's what was around. Even our radios wasn't playing go-go all the time and shit, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I ain't never really like rappers. I fuck with rap groups. I fuck with Bone Thugs. I fuck with 3-6, Dipset. You know what I'm saying? Like the groups more so than like specific
Mobb
rap.
Deep.
Huh?
Mobb Deep.
Nah, that was before my time. Y'all used to like Mobb Deep, Scarface, and Devin the Dude and shit. Y'all was fucking with all them niggas and shit. Like, I man, that goofy ass shit, man. I was like, that lame ass shit. But it's, you know what I'm saying? So I was fucking with shit like that. But we ain't never had no lane for GoGo for young niggas and shit for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then I remember when I got in Jeff, that's when TCB came out with that ass clap, like 01, 02. They changed the whole shit. But like Backyard already was changing their shit and changing that to that little different little like cranking. But out of the pocket. They didn't want no word for that shit. It was to go see back. Cause they was cranking the crank and shit. But TCB had that ass clap. I was full throttle go-go head. Like 9, 10, 11, 12, all that out full throttle go-go head, my whole shit.
So then you reach the age, you know what I'm saying, where you deep in it now, right? You what, 14, 15?
Yeah.
Around that age. What changed?
My man Chris from around my weight. Like I always wanted to be in the band. But you know, like when we was younger, we would just be beating on the like in the train and shit, or on the deck or the tables at lunch or some shit, or at school. You know what I'm saying? Just making a little shit. But nobody really had the audacity to get up off their ass and go make a band and shit. Even the ones that did was like they weren't like that. I remember going to some roller rink one time and the band was cranking in that joint. And I said, man, what's our name? And they say, man, unorganized. Like, because they was mad that they shit wasn't set up and like whatever. Like, they ain't even have a name. So they was like, unorganized and shit, like, right? So I remember Chris from my weight, he was younger than me, like a year or two. And he like a leader and shit. Like every time he with his crew, like he in my crew, but like he was younger than me. So when he would be in his school and shit, he just like was the leader of that joint, backers and shit. Everybody followed Chris and shit. So motherfucker, he come to me one day like, man, I'm in the band and we need a timbali player. I'm like, nigga, that's what the fuck I want to do. Nigga, let's go. I play the timbali. But I was lying. I was buzzing. I ain't never played the timbales like for real, like ever in my life. I just used to be on it, you know what I mean? But I do that shit, man. Shit, let's go. So he take me to his practice and shit. We practicing uptown by Buchanan, but I'm trying to think of what's the like Kennedy, but the backside, man. What's over there, right over there on the hill, but Buchanan Street. The band was called ADB after Dot Band, cause a keyboard player, I think his stepfather or his father had the After Dark Clover brand and shit. So we ADB. But Chris was the singer on the timbali player. But we ain't like the way things was going and shit in that band. Like it was unorganized. But the lead mic one, like nothing was doing nothing. So me and Chris like, man, we quit. Them niggas begging for us to come back. They like, man, nah, come back, y'all. Please come back. So Chris say, man, we come back. I'm the lead mic now. Woogie woot, like this woot woot. Like we ain't doing it like that. And we changing the name. And it just so happened that somebody I knew, they was like, my man Jamel, he was like, y'all should call yourself Takeover Band, T.O.B. Cause you know what I'm saying? Like he kind of knew the history, but it wasn't even that. He just like randomly said it. And just behind what we did and how we came back and took the band over and him giving us that name, it was just said, T.O.B. Takeover Band. We take over. So we started taking over and shit. Started just playing and performing. We was always practicing and shit.
That's one of my favorite bands.
And then the nigga Rick from Reaction, he gave us our first shot on Christmas 2005. 2005? 2005, yeah. That shit so long ago, goddamn. Yeah, 2005, that man Rick from Reaction gave us our first show. And E Street was our first people to fuck with us. Cause like we opened up for all the other bands. Nobody heard of us before and type shit. We had to get 10 tickets and sell them and shit, give them the money and shit type shit. You know what I'm saying? Nobody knew who the fuck we was. So cool. You know what I'm saying? We get in there. East Street was in that joint. It was at the Boom Boom Room at the levels at the Boom Boom Room for that joint burnt down and shit. So East Street fucking with us. Rick fucking with everybody. Like, man, them young niggas crank. Like, who the fuck is these young niggas? We start going from there.
T.O.B.
Yeah.
Let's work. T.O.B. I fuck with him. So how did your transition from T.O.B. go to the rap shit?
So like I just be always a fan. I just be like, shit get boring to me sometimes. Like you know what I'm saying? And then it was like life. I was going through so much at that time. Like 2006, 2007. 2006, my son was born. My daughter was born like 3 years later. 2009, 8, some shit like that, whatever. She was born in 2009, but I'm trying to think of like the shit that was happening before. Like it was just a lot of shit going on. I was in the streets. It was real shit going on. I was sleeping in my car. I was hustling. I was in a band. I was working. I was in school. I was motherfucker doing so much. And like the people around me, they were still on the same shit we was just on. And I was like one of the only, like it was a couple of us who had kids at that time, but the rest of them didn't have kids. They were still kids at themselves, you know what I'm saying? So I'm 16 in school, getting in trouble for stupid shit, and they trying to pull me to the side. I'm like, bro, who you talking to? I got a kid of my own. Like you know what I'm saying? My ego, my pride, my mentality, my whole, you know what I'm saying? Like even when I got checked into Wilson, I was coming from another joint. I was wild and they put me in a 5-point program school joint with padded rooms and all that. They piss tested and all that type shit out murder. So when I got out that joint, they put me, my mother checking me in Wilson. The whole school come out to the office and shit. They like, oh, T.O.B. here, T.O.B. coming to the joint whole time. I'm just getting checked into that joint type shit. So my lifestyle at that age was different than everybody else. Like I'm on the radio, I'm doing shit, you know what I mean? So uh I guess like life was taking its toll on me. And my last show for GoGo T.O.B. was the day Obama got voted in. Like everybody was like, Obama, everybody hopping out their cars on the highway, banging on the motherfucking on windows and shit, on other people's windows and shit. And I just left the CFE and I just like, man, I'm about to go do something. I didn't even know what I was about to go do. I was just like, I ain't doing that shit no more. I don't know. I just ain't never go to another show. I just ain't never go to practice. They ain't called me. I ain't called them. It's just what it was. So then, my man Roger, who was in the band, he came from MOB. He gave us his brother, his younger brother, Ambrose. They was all playing the keyboard, Roger and Ambrose. So we picked Roger up after MOB just like stopped doing anything or whatever. And then Roger just started, he was producing for everybody and shit. So Roger started producing like rap music instead of like cause there was go-go bands trying to hire him to produce go-go music for them so they could perform the shit. Like that's unheard of. Nobody got like a producer for go-go music and shit. Like, you know, like every band make up their own shit, you know what I mean? Type shit. But it was bands hiring him to like produce music for them. So he started taking that mentality and make like Roger beat music and started doing rap and hip hop and all this other shit. So he was talking about he was gonna do a song with Big G, Chris, And I think if Polo was alive, it probably was Polo still at the time type shit, right? Motherfucker. Say like, I'm gonna get them all to rap on this joint. So he like, you should rap on this joint. And at the time, look, I had stopped listening to GoGo. I was listening to Gucci. Boozy and Gucci came out like '07, '08. It was a rap for GoGo at that time. For I was the only on Boozy and Gucci. I fuck with them because I ain't never seen rappers really living the shit they was talking about. Like that shit was always phony to me. I ain't never was impressed by that shit. But Boozy and Gucci was talking that shit. So I'm like, oh, this different. So Roger like, man, you should rap on this joint. I guess he was trolling or being served. I started writing shit, writing shit. I'm in the house making him make me beats. I bought him an MP3 and shit, making him make me beats. I was just writing. I got endless songs and shit all on my endless papers and songs and shit that's all on my floor, like Mozart and shit in that bitch. It's crazy, just everywhere in that bitch. Like I was just writing, non-stop writing. And I just took that shit serious. I had quit everything else. I stopped everything else. Like in life, in order to level up, you gotta let go of certain shit. This what they come in with that shit with like sacrifice and shit. Sometimes you gotta sacrifice your time. Like you would have had free time to do all this shit with your men and them, but maybe you going to work, you don't got that time no more. You know what I'm saying? So you sacrificing your time to get, you know what I'm saying, to a different place than what you were. You know what I'm saying? So like that's where I was at that moment. I was like, let go of all that shit, street shit, the go-go shit, everything that was stressing me out, everything that was a weight on my back. It felt like I'm doing something different. And when nobody rapping in the city like that at the time and shit, you know what I mean? It was strictly go-go. So this shit was different all the way, you know what I mean? Another turn where it's ahead of its time type shit, you know what I mean? That's how that shit went for real.
So you ended up getting a record deal?
That was way later down the line. That was like when that Gleesh Walk song popped off at like 2017, 2016, 2017. I got the record deal with shit. But that was just for an album and a song and shit with Asylum and shit. So yeah, that was just for an album. Yeah. They really just wanted that song, but they ain't know that like I kept trying to tell them like everybody would like it was a song called Pew Pew, but I put the Gleesh Walk right before that joint. So that joint did like millions of views and shit. And the Gleesh Walk song is the me, ASAP Rocky, Tyler Creator, and Playboi Carti. But on that joint, I'm like, deep walk, bitch walk. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else rapping, but I'm just like on that joint cranking and shit. So everybody play that shit. Everybody be performing that shit at their shows and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the most turned up pot on the joint. And so I just took that and just used that my part in front of that song. And that joint just started going crazy and shit. Everybody like, oh, what's that Gleesh Walk shit? You know what I'm saying? So labels calling and shit. They wanted that song, but that's not the song they could get. So they tried to buy Pew Pew and an album and shit. So yeah, we did some shit like that. But I wasn't never signed. I was always independent. That was like towards the end of my career too, like 2017, 2018, right after that. So before all that shit, I was always independent. On my tours, all that shit.
So how you end up getting all these like collaborations and stuff you was doing? ASAP Rocky, 1017, Gucci Man. You got how you was getting these. You know what I'm saying? Like how did you get from I'm not playing go-go no more, so now you with some household names, like some heavyweight names in the game. How the hell did you make that transition?
It's different. It's like Roger was a big part of that shit, right? Right. So Roger locked me in with Fat Trail. right? And shit, cause Fat Trail was doing his thing in the city. So Rise a lot, man, with the Slutty Boys and them, like, cause I been knew Do Baby, cause Duck, Do Baby, Duck, he was one of the first, like I said, East Street was one of our first supporters in T.O.B. So we was letting Duck get on the mic back in the day and all that. So I been knew East Street and them niggas and shit. But so Roger showing them to me and shit, and they showing me the trail and shit. So trail like woo de woo. And then when I was, so I guess anybody know that history with me and Trail and the Slutty Boys and shit like that, whatever. So then Roger also knew that Gucci was my favorite rapper. So Gucci, him and the nigga Benny, their Shy manager, or I don't know if Benny T still Shy manager, but that was Shy manager for a minute. But before he was even managing Shy, I knew Benny. Benny and his partner had booked Gucci in the city. So Roger knew Gucci my favorite rapper. So Roger about to get me to pick Gucci up from the airport type shit. So by the time, and then when I was all the way fucked up, I'm down Michi house from East Street, but we down the quarter at Auntie house right there on M Street, First and M. But I'm always locked in with the quarters anyway. I could have left his house and slept in multiple houses down that bitch, right? I'm always family in that bitch. But I was locked in with Michi at the time. So I'm with Michi, I'm all the way fucked up. Roger like, man, go, yeah, I'm gonna need you to go pick up Gucci. Boy, you bluffing. Boom. I get my car. By the time I get to my car and shit, he like, man, nah, meet me at Ben Studio. Ben from TCB manager that had a barbershop, but he had the studio on Merlin. Say, meet me at Ben Studio. So, get the Ben Studio. I hop out the car. Roger and them just pulled up. I just pulled up. Gucci hop out the car. But I ain't do too much. We thorough from the city. We don't be doing too much. I'm like, man, I fuck with you, shorty. You know what I'm saying? Like, you good in the city right now. You with me, you good. So you cool type shit. So he like, all right. So we go in the studio. And he just getting paid for features and shit. And this little nigga, and this Merlin niggas, and this nigga come bringing them bag like 7,500, 10K. He racking up at like 20, 50K off of this features that night right there. I ain't had shit, so I'm just in this bitch who I am, whatever. So we leave the studio. Gucci tell Rozzy like, man, yeah, I'm gonna see y'all at the club. We about to go to the club. I'm gonna see y'all at the club with Benny and his partner, whatever, book them. So we already locked in with Benny and them. So we gonna be in the club. Was already backstage, back behind door code, shit, dog, whatever. Like low. Boom. So motherfucker, we get to the joint. We go backstage behind in the red room at the Love. It's the Love. Yeah, this the Love. No, the Fur. The Fur joint right there off New York Avenue at the Fur. So we walk in. Gucci sit at the couch, and there's bitches all around him. He smoking this shit, and there's bitches around him. Man, Walker walk in. He stand smack up. Gleesh, man, I heard of you, man. You heard of Coach K? Man, I fuck with your shit, man. I fuck with your... Like, I ain't just see this man 20, 30 minutes ago at the studio. Like, I was just with you for like 2 hours at the studio. We were just there the whole time. Like, you ain't say nothing, right? I saw, like, I could, like, but he tried, like, throwing me off. So he's like, I fuck with your shit, man. Goddamn, I fuck with your music, man. Coach K, man, he put me on. He said, yeah, woo, woo. You got some music, I like, yeah. So I'm so inspired by him. I'm already using his type beats and his producer beats that's on the internet and shit like that. So I'm like, yeah, I got shit. And it's gonna go with his set too. So I perform for him. He like, wow, I fuck with that nigga. So by the time he finished performing, me and Roger walk out. He like, I'm trying to sign you. I need you in Atlanta tomorrow. So I go back to Michi house. I just perform with Gucci. Michi, I'm talking about me and Michi in the trenches. It's fucked up. Michi with me every day. Michi say, he know I'm lying. You could just tell. You think I'm lying. You know that how you know what I'm saying? How that just changed from the same way you asked it. It be shit like that. Like even when Trail would go on tour with them other niggas, he went on tour one time. He called back to my manager. He was like, that nigga Gleesh stars niggas out here asking about him, talk about him, woody whoop. Like it was just like that. I don't be knowing. I don't be knowing, bro. It be one time a newspaper nigga came into the studio out Middle East. I'm in this bitch sleep. I seen the nigga when I woke up, but I would be on point, but I don't be, you know what I'm saying? I still be on point. So I seen him when I woke up. He ain't no threat. I go back, boom. Motherfucker, I wake up, me, Boozer, Trail leaving. We about to get in my car. The reporter nigga like, man, yeah, hey. Trail look like, back nah, I ain't doing no interviews right now. He like, nah, I'm trying to talk to Gleesh. It's a newspaper nigga for the newspaper, one of these newspapers around here or some shit. I don't be knowing where these motherfuckers be coming from. Motherfuckers just be fucking with me. I don't be knowing, I don't be promoting to their town. I ain't never dropped flyers off. I don't be knowing how motherfuckers, like how I said with you earlier, I don't be knowing how motherfuckers be knowing my shit, bro. It be throwing me off. Like, y'all, it should be crazy to me, still to this day. Like, Moon, who you is, you know what I'm saying? And you like, nah, motherfucker telling me, and I'm like, damn, it be throwing me,
For real.
you know?
You got love. For real, got love. So you been out the country with the music too, right?
Yeah.
You been other countries?
I've been in other countries, but not with music. Not like when it's music time, you know, after shit, family and shit be thrown around and shit, you know what I'm saying? It'd be hard as shit to get like passports and shit. It been talks and works on getting me tours and shit, but I supposed to do tour in Europe, I supposed to do tour in Canada, I supposed to be doing a couple tours and shit, but shit never really fell through and shit like that. But I done been around the world, like outside of music and shit, like type shit. I done been in Africa, Germany, Europe, Mexico, Alaska. I mean, not Alaska. My father lived in Alaska, but I was too young for that shit. But uh, I done been places. You know what I'm saying? I done seen the world.
So dealing with music, right? And dealing with the Atlanta music scene, right? Yeah. What's the difference in the Atlanta music scene and the DC music scene?
Uh, Everybody wants, you know, the generic word, the generic answer is, oh, they all stick together, you know what I'm saying? And I guess it's like that's like the main thing, but nobody break it down the semantics of like the reasons why that is. You know what I mean? Like, um, the reasons why our city broke apart. Cause my mama talked about when she grew up, it wasn't violent. They could go from party to party. It'd be all up and down Rock Creek, all in Southwest, all in everywhere. When, you know what I'm saying, certain hoods you stayed away from, but like that's what it was. But she said back then, it ain't used to be like that. You know what I mean? Like we made it like that. We was actively out there being the menaces that everybody. That's why I don't, you know, niggas like me and you don't be fearing the rest of that shit, cause we is the ones that slip through the veil and stalk in the night. So that shit don't be bothering us, but you know, it is what it is.
So what could make the DC scene better?
DC scene already, see, right there, everybody seen fucked up. The whole industry fucked up. Like, as far as like, there used to be, America used to have the grip on culture. We used to walk a certain way, talk a certain way, do certain shit. And then for DC, we had our own culture. We walk a certain way, talk a certain way, do, you know what I'm saying? While everybody else might follow hip hop in New York and might follow the West Coast sometimes, or might follow down south. Well, we was always, you know, but for as a whole in America, we brought the culture. So everybody be like, yo, what's up, my nigga? Like everybody wanna be like us for real, right? So whatever artists we push in America, the world will follow behind Michael Jackson, whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? So we lost our grip on that shit because everything is compartmentalized right now. It's too many wars. It's too many drill scenes. DC got a drill scene, New York got a drill scene, Chicago, Florida, West Coast. Everybody got their little hoods in their cities that's rapping and beefing and fighting and killing and rapping about it. And then, you know, that area is listening to just that music. A nigga from DC ain't listening to a nigga from New York no more, or Atlanta no more, or Florida no more like that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be all the way out like Kodak Black or somebody for somebody to really be fucking with your shit outside of they scenes. New York niggas listening to New York drill scene, DC listening to DC drill scene, and so on and so on. So there's no super artists that we have right now. Don't nobody even want to hear Lil Baby. Don't nobody want to hear Drake right now. Don't nobody want to hear none of these massive artists that we have. And all the new talent is compartmentalized in the areas that they in. We're not able to push them up. So it's not even a DC thing no more. Everybody got that same crab in the barrel mentality, but it's not really a crab in the barrel. It's just a dome around our mentality. We only want to see what we want to see. So we only listening to our music in the city. And that's how Afro beats and all them other genres, the biggest music right now. All the African music, all the Bad Bunny and all the Latino music and shit, they all franking right now. They got the grip on the world. They go get paid to do tours all across the world. Ain't nobody getting booked for that shit no more.
So what you think? What you think changes that? You think like collaborating with artists outside the city? What changes that? Like what puts us at that global scale?
It's a it's not it's like people do what they know is profitable or what they know is working is successful, right? So like niggas do like we know what bitches like. We start doing the shit that we think a bitch like. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like dressing a certain way, acting a certain way, doing certain shit. Wherever the bitches go at to the club, and nigga going to the club with the bitches, like. So they if they was to rap about God and church, it's like your shit. Like I was telling you in food. Y'all could be sitting here clickbaiting and clout chasing and asking all types of wild ass questions, but you keeping the law. You looking for a positive way in this shit, right? You could have billions of views, millions of views if you was asking for goofy shit like, "Hey, what's up with these bitch ass niggas?" Like, and making these niggas fight and
Right,
shit. You know what I'm saying?
right.
But you not. So you building a core fan base from a positive perspective. There's a negative perspective, like the news, bro. If the news could talk about all the kids getting good grades, all the farmers market selling good food and healthy food and shit like that. But that shit boring. Don't nobody want to hear that shit. They want to hear about niggas getting killed. What's the entertainment? What's the negative aspect that's entertaining? Oh, some messy shit. Oh, somebody died. Somebody got beat up, car crash and murdered. Like they love that shit.
Right.
So the masses as a whole, we gotta wake up and mentally ascend to a higher consciousness to for the music and everybody else who want to profit off of that shit to be able to promote that shit. At the moment they start talking about some piece of positive shit, don't nobody want to hear that shit. You know, it's some bullshit.
So what happened with you music?
None. I just like I said before, I be getting bored. like, like that's it. And like I be ahead of shit. I be seeing shit that most people don't be seeing. So I, a ground level, as above, so below, but in the middle. In the middle, out of eye, what we see in our reality, our board, right? As above and some other shit, I see the music industry for what it is, and is evil. is negative. It promotes negativity. There's no room for, like I'm saying, for your shit, for somebody to speak some positive shit. There's no room for that. They don't want to see that. They're not gonna promote that. They're not gonna give you deals. You're gonna get deals that you get, and you gotta fuck with the niggas you fought with, and you gotta build it like that because they're not gonna off the bat. It's like, I mean, fuck with this nigga that's telling some good shit. Nah, you don't profit off of that. You profit off of negativity. So I was I wasn't necessarily the most negative artist, but I definitely promoted, even without saying go do it, I presented my image as that, and that image was influencing other people to do, whatever. So I don't want to promote that shit. I don't want to, I don't want to be in the industry that it will make it very difficult for me to promote peaceful, positive shit. You know what I'm saying? They gonna make it difficult. So for it, you know how shit is, for like how you just talk. Like, I'm trying to work into a business aspect, right? But where we come from, when shit don't go our way, shit giving us pushback, it's one road, you know what I'm saying? It's one way we take that shit, you know what I'm saying? But it's 2025, motherfucker can't handle that shit that we bring it to the table. So it's like, I don't know. I just try to be on some different shit right now. And they ain't gonna give me no room for that shit. They ain't gonna respect it. So I respect it. Cause when I was full throttle, knee deep, 10 toes, chest high, head held high, whatever, I get it. I was the same way. Like, don't push that peaceful positive shit, that goofy ass shit up. I understand what niggas be thinking. I was just like that. I was worse. I showed them all this shit that they doing now. This shit wasn't even like that, when I was out here. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to do that shit no more.
So what do you think, like, they say that 40 to 47% of the murders in the city are senseless murders in DC. And, they say if we could stop the senseless murders, they'll be got much more stronger, right? What do you think? Like, what's your solution or suggestion to that?
There is a word, this word survival, that's like the root of all evil. When people be like, what's the root of all evil? They like money, cars, souls, bitches, whatever, whatever. Like, it's that word survival that that allows us humans to think we could justify doing whatever we need to provide for our family. If I ain't got enough water and I feel like you got more water than me, what I gotta go do? I gotta take your water, right? My family gotta drink. You got water. I need that. What the fuck is we talking? Like, it's not what is, right? Survival, right? So all murders is senseless because we apply this concept of lacking, not having, having less than the next, and we think we need to survive to be able to get that, right? Like, nigga, nigga be fucked up, right? And then there's niggas in the city, there's niggas can have some money, right? But it's rich people that be having yachts and planes and shit, right? When you really talk to them, they might have a yacht that costs like 15 million, right? And they pull that shit up out of Europe next to another yacht that costs 50 million. They feel like that nigga got more than me. But compared to the rest of us, we like, bro, what the fuck? Bitch, y'all got that shit. Now y'all up. Like, what we need, like, what the fuck, right? But to them, they ego, they pride pulling up. And then that nigga with a 50 million yacht, they pull up next to $1 billion yacht. That nigga like, what the fuck? You got helicopters and shit on this shit. Like, what the fuck, right? Everybody standing next to everybody else won't have that mentality of survival. So all murders is senseless. What's a not senseless murder besides defense? And even defense come under survival. Do we need to murder each other? I'm saying, like, if if you ain't on it, I ain't on it, right? We could take these mics off and we could go get active. Me and you right here, right now, right? And if we don't, it'll be a lot more peaceful for motherfuckers, right? So if we go get active and shit, they gotta go do what? Defend themselves and survive. If we ain't never do this shit, what's the point? Would they ever need to? Nah, for real. Cause there's niggas out here, I don't fear these motherfuckers, right? Cause I did all this type shit. I did this shit before, right? So, okay, I walk in the dark with you. I slip through the veil with you. I stalk through the night with you, right? Cool. Now it's a little less peaceful for motherfuckers around this motherfucker. Or I find peace within myself and make it a little more peaceful for motherfuckers around this. Who the worst ones? These young niggas or us? Because if we get back active, shit gonna change around this. So, who the worst?
And let me ask you this. A lot of people, they don't like the youth. They feel like they breaking in cars, they spinning the block. They just don't want to listen. They don't want to do the right thing. They feel like they tired of it, right? I heard a lot of people happy that Trump got this thing going on in the communities, man, because they tired of the young dudes, right? And me, I defend them. I speak up for them because I understand, you know what I mean? And I think it's bigger than that. But how do you feel about that gap with the youth and the elders?
My son 19, so I be saying it's like my generation under your generation. I still walk up to people and say yes ma'am, no sir, right? All right, cool. And even for the ones that's raising their kids, that my generation that's raising their kids to say yes ma'am and no ma'am and yes sir and no sir, right? With all the way the world is, people get offended by you saying yes ma'am, no sir. It's confusion and shit, confusing times we live in right now. You know what I'm saying? So like, even if I was to implement respect upon my child, and he was to walk into a coffee shop or some shit, and it was a transgender or whatever they want to be called, and they didn't want to be called. He see a man, and I'm a woman, right? Now my son don't know what to say. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's a role, that's an excuse, that's a path, but without the learning of respect, you know, I think that's the gap, right? I don't know. Um, Cause I still be talking to these young niggas and shit. They mind sometimes be gone. Like, right? Like, they don't even be caring about money.
They don't want
I mean, like, even as far as like we been outside in the street, bro, like money is what we outside for, right?
Right.
That's the thing that we always think we gonna change our shit. I'm a ball, I'm gonna be in the streets, I'm gonna get some money. I talk my young niggas, they talking about some other shit. They wasn't even talking about money. I was like, oh, I forgot. Yeah, I forgot the age, the gap. I forgot. I said, like, it didn't shock me. I just had forgot. Like, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot y'all don't be caring about nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what, 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 what do people care about? What do the young niggas care about? What do they want? Like, even if there was options, what would you want? Like, what does anybody want? It's an individual basis. I want peace for everyone, right? That's different from somebody else just wanting $1 million and not caring how he get it, right? My path might not be $1 million because I'm searching for. You know what I'm saying? So what do these youngers want? What do a grown nigga want? When you find out what you want, and you collect you calibrate yourself to it that frequency, then you gonna find your path to that. If we on this low frequency of death and stealing and killing and doing all this other shit, we gonna find our path to that real fast. Especially when we act extremely active out there. You know the niggas who, you know, between me and you, I can see it in your eyes. Old head once told me, he's like, man, some killers walked in the room. He say, nah, I know them niggas was killers. I see it in their eye. The whole room changed. The whole energy changed. I'm like, man, this old head so goofy. Like, right? Until I got a little older and I could see it, right? Right? I get it, right? Okay, cool. So, well, I don't know. I don't even know the answer on, because it's like we would have to ask an individual what do they want, and a lot of the time they can't foresee anything beyond what's there. But even what's there that was presented to them, that's why I'm saying I feel so guilty, because I was in front of them promoting this, right? This music, this way of life, that style, that everything. And there wasn't, like I said, wasn't nobody rapping when I started doing this shit. Trail wasn't even hot at the time. Wale maybe probably, yeah, Wale was doing something because he was fucking with T.O.B. He said T.O.B. was his favorite band. So Wale was the only thing. So, right? I did all that. I influenced this. I created this lane for that. I don't want that for them. I don't want that for nobody. So that's why I even came here. Like I was telling you, that's why I ain't came here to promote some positive shit. I don't even care for this shit. You know what I'm saying? So I want peace for everybody. I want the youngest to find their way and know that it's another way out. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta want that. Because as much as you want to bag, as much as you want to bag a nigga, as much as you want to come up 100 bands, and you could get it in a negative way, you could still do it in a positive way. Right. You just seeking one way. You're seeking the negative round. You looking for and it's finding you. And then you want to complain about your men and dying and nah, you in this shit. You in this shit. So, you know, you can find your way out this shit too. And it ain't one of them like, oh, I gotta watch my back forever. I did a lot of shit. I don't be doing nothing. I don't care no more. You know what
Nah, for real.
You know what I mean?
You can't walk around like that.
I don't even care no more. Look at this, bro. I'm wearing it's like I don't even care no more, Joe. What the fuck, bro? What? What you gonna do? It is what it is, bro. Peace be it to you. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't even with no religion.
So, what the future hold for you?
I'm doing business. I'm in business oriented. Cause that's one thing I lacked when I was as a creative. I was fully creative and I wasn't in on the business side of that shit. You know what I mean? I didn't care. I never cared. Even when I was in the band, like my mother was the manager. My mother was like, where y'all play at? No, I'm gonna be there anyway. Like, they're like, how you don't know what you playing for? I don't be knowing, I don't check the flyers. I don't be caring about certain shit. Shit be just, you know, especially when you got good management and shit, like, shit just get handled. So, I never, when I started doing the business and the music at the same time, it got boring. It was like, all right, this work versus just being free to be creative and shit. So if I gotta work and be creative, let me find a way to be creative for work. So I'm working on a couple businesses and shit, you know what I'm saying? That's gonna do some shit I ain't gonna speak on until I'm ready to show y'all, you know. You can't get your shit out there, you know, and the evil eye and shit, they get on your ass, start hating on you, try to take your shit, whatever. Niggas done always stole my name. You see how this shit go. I heard it be like this.
Nah, for real. So, what message, you know, before we go? Because it's like,
we talked about, you know, coming through the music industry, you know, go-go and rap. We talking about business. What message or what is it that you would want to say? Like, what message to the youth, to the elders, you know, like whoever, like what is it that's inside of you that's important for you to share with the world?
Peace. That's it. Like peace. Find everybody. Find your harmony. Find your peace. Find your frequency. Find your. But like you know, niggas. Then when you did 30, right? Straight through.
28.
28. All right, cool. How many times you did down the hole? How long you did down the hole? What's your longest hole down the hole? 6 months.
Fuck though, probably about 3.5 years.
3 years in the hole.
Yeah.
It was just you and your mind. You could have went crazy in that bitch. Most niggas do. You found peace. You was in the worst place in this bitch. That's where if you not dead, that's the worst place to be, right? Right? You damn it at a torture chamber. They got you in the darkest place. It's nothing there. You know how that shit is. I don't even want to be bringing this up to making you think about. I apologize for all that, right? But I'm just saying, giving you and them.
No, it's true.
It did, right?
It's true.
Right? It's all in here.
It's true.
And the greatest warriors down there be the quietest ones, be the ones who in their mind. Everybody else playing, everybody else gambling, everybody playing handball, everybody TV, they want bumpers or whatever. This ain't shit in the streets, right? The greatest warriors in that bitch was in their mind the whole fucking time finding peace. It didn't matter where they was placed in this planet. They found peace within themselves. And that's the true message like that. It's not gonna come from nowhere else. No one's gonna make you happy. No one gonna save you. No one gonna fix your problems. No one gonna get you out the jam. No one gonna bust their shit when you die. No, it doesn't matter for all that. Whatever that is, right? None of that shit matters because the only thing that matters is you finding peace within yourself. No matter how fucked up your money is, no matter you get kicked out, you homeless, you thinking you at the worst and you down bad and you think it can't get no worse and like this, what's the point of being broke? The worst place for a human that's alive in America for us is in the hole, right? The best place in the hole is in your mind. And you found peace within those 3.5 years. That's the only way you here to talk to me as a sane man or for whatever they took from you, the pieces that's left is sane. So you did a hell of a job in there and you're doing a hell of a job out here.
Well, appreciate it. So I relate so much to it because being in the hole one time was a guy who used to talk to himself. And God told me one time that you be alone long enough by yourself, your mind will find ways to entertain yourself. And sometimes I would be in there alone, think of something, I might laugh out loud. I just always wonder, like, is that a stop? Like, be conscious of things, like not to go crazy in here. You know what I'm saying? I would see people that was crazy but didn't know they was crazy. Like they really don't know they tripping. I'm like, damn. I used to hear people tell me, you tripping. I'm like, damn, and I'm sitting back and it's like it started to play on your mind, like, am I tripping or is you motherfuckers just scared? Like, you start like questioning yourself a little bit, like, am I really tripping though? You know what I'm saying? And when you out around so many people, when you going through these things and you in your mind, and when they lock you up and you're in a hole, like, fuck, bro, I'm in this shit, man, and everything is taken away from you. And after a few days, you calm down and you start to look for that peaceful place that you're saying, you know what I mean? And it's like you get to look at yourself a little bit more and nah, I ain't tripping. You know what I mean? Like I know I'm doing the right thing. Or, you know, vice versa, you could be in there and be like, yeah, I'm probably tripping, man. I might gotta chill out. You know what I'm saying? I might gotta, you know, do something different.
A lot of every a lot of people don't want to live in their mind. They don't want to go through them dark places. They don't want to deal with the memories and the secrets and the dark hidden things that they like
No,
should
for
be
real.
playing over and over in your
For real.
mind, especially
For real.
as you get older, you get wiser. You can look
For real.
back on some shit like I can look back on and be like, damn, why that young nigga when I was in 3rd grade took my candy, right? And I could be mad about that shit. That little bitch ass nigga stole my candy, right? And then I can look back like, well, as as I'm older now, I can look back and like I s- I know I understand his circumstances way better. Like he used to come to school crying whenever the teacher used to get it, like you know what I'm saying, get mad at him. Woody whoop. He used to come there joint with the same clothes on. He probably wasn't eating. He probably fucked up. His probably parents were probably beating the shit out of him. Like he was abused. Like you know what I'm saying, right? I see a different than when I was looking at something than looking at it now, right? Cool. So a lot of people do that, avoid being within their mind, especially while you free, when you out, you're not locked up. They want to go party. They want to be you know what I'm saying, be working or finding some type of distraction instead of being within themselves. A lot of people can't do what you did.
Yeah, but a lot of people can't do what you did. And I'm proud of you, bro, to be able to like stand on your own as a man and not hear the outside noise. Like you lived a life that people dream of living. You walked away, you know, to find what you like in life, like what satisfies you, what calms your soul, right? And you reached a point in your life where you realize like your influence could lead to the wrong direction. And because you've been through that shit and you've been through that, why would you send somebody through that, right? And so you chose to take another path, man, in life, and some people may not understand why you did it. Some people may not agree. They just want to be around these celebrities. They want to have this celebrity lifestyle. You know, you did it on both scenes. You did it on the go-go scene. You did it on the rap scene. And to be able to, as a man, say, hey, let me take a break for a minute. Let me figure something out. This ain't it. This ain't it right here. That's deep, bro. That's strong. You know what I mean? And if more people, you know how you said, like, if we go over there and spend that jump, they guys defend themselves, right? So, but if we never even thought of going over there to do that, then they wouldn't have to defend themselves. If it was more people out here trying to find their peace,
That's what it is.
find those
Like
space.
so when me and you was active like that, we didn't like ourselves. We didn't like our situation. We didn't like something. There was something that made us that feel like that angry, that rage, that inner, that we lack of. They had this, I ain't got whatever it is. It's something. It's always something that drive that negative emotion. But it's us chasing out of entities, something they have, something they got, something that's not with me, something that's not on me, something that I don't own, something that I can't control, something that I don't, physically put my hands on. And none of that shit matters, bro. The only thing that matters is you, your peace, your heart, your mind, your soul, you, what you do, what you put out into the world, not what you take it. You don't own none of this shit. You don't control none of this shit. We can't. Even if we had it, no man, like it would have run to our head with all that power. It's like you can't harness, you know what I'm saying? You can't just, if I wanted all the water in the world, I'd drown.
Right.
The fuck would I do with all the water in the world? But I feel like you don't need the water because you got more water than me. So I took everybody water. What the fuck I'm gonna go? Where the fuck am I gonna go with all the water in the world, bro? That gonna make me happy then? Or y'all gonna be beefing with me and now I gotta go to war with y'all and now we at war. If I'm truly happy, if I get everything in the world? No. Only time I'm gonna ever be happy is within my mind, my heart, my soul, my conscience, my peace. That's the only time I'm gonna be happy. I find it within.
Yeah, I'm proud of you, bro. Proud of you. Real talk. Stay solid. Like, listen.
Mental health real, man. You gotta find yourself, man. Like, you can't be out here trying to impress everybody. You gotta find yourself, man. Start with them. You know what I'm saying? And they got a saying, right? It say, I want to change the world, but the world too vast. So I'm gonna start with my country. But my country too vast. So I'm gonna start with my state. That's too vast. So I'm gonna start with my city. But that's too vast. So I'm gonna start with my street. But that's too vast. So I'm gonna start in my household. But that's too vast, right? And they say that you gotta start with yourself. That's the first place that you gotta start. You know what I mean? And when you see a lot of people with a lot of things that you dream of, some of them not happy. Some of them will give it all up for their happiness. It's real shit. Hey, listen, man, this that hood takeover. You got to go on that bio. You got to hit the link. You got to get that Everfresh. You know what I'm talking about? You got to keep that Everfresh, bro. You got to get that Everfresh. And you got to subscribe. You got to share. Go to YouTube. Go to iHeart. Go to Spotify. Go to FM radio. Go everywhere. Look everywhere on the planet. Go to library. Call your friends. Share some shit. Talk to people. Just make sure you fucking with Moon. Situations with Moon. We coming around the world. You got to support it. It's that hood takeover. We out.
Quest.